Howdy, Mike here, and in today's video, I'm going to break down a simple business plan for you if you want to start an online course business. And this is taking everything that I've learned over the last 8 years or so of being involved in the online courses and coaching space, all of the things that I wish I had done differently, all of the things that I've seen work and not work with my clients at my digital marketing agency. I'm going to break it down so you know exactly what you need to do to grow as quickly as possible and set yourself up for future success. Now, there are 4 key elements to building a successful online course business: audience, leads, sales, and product. And we're going to get into all of those today, but I want to focus on the things that I wish I had done differently over all these years. From my time coaching course creators, working with them at my agency, building my own online courses that have made millions of dollars, I've learned so much, and there's so many things that I wish I would have done differently because I look at it and I'm like, man, if I would have done that, where would I be today? And that's what we're going to get into. We're going to build out that business plan so you can know exactly how I would do it. And by far, my biggest regret in my business is not putting enough emphasis on audience. I just didn't really prioritize it and build it. And that's why today, here I am, I'm starting a brand new YouTube channel. And I'm like, you know what? I really got to build my audience, my following, my email list. That way I have that in the long term because I've always regretted it. I needed to do something about it. But the reality is that when I was starting my business, my online business, first I was in law school. And so I was juggling both of those things. And then after I started having kids and I became a stay-at-home dad who was building his business from home, I just had to prioritize. I had to figure out what I was going to do, what I was going to put my time to. And for me and because of my knowledge of paid traffic, it always just made sense to use those skills to acquire clients and sell my products. So I never really put that time into creating content and building an organic audience, but I wish I had. And so that's really the first thing that I would focus on inside of this business plan is if I was starting over today, I would build my audience online and I would build it on YouTube. Now, you may be asking why YouTube, and there's a couple of reasons, but the main one is the search benefits. If you haven't heard of SEO or search engine optimization, it's when you create content, usually through a blog post or a video on YouTube, and it ranks in search. So when people go looking to answer specific questions, your video or your article pops up. And I'm a big fan of video because it is the fastest growing medium for content in the world right now. And video builds trust with your audience so much faster than the written word. Not to mention that I know my business partner is a professional blogger and I've seen behind that blogging business, and it is much easier to rank for videos on YouTube than it is on a blog. So if I'm starting over, I'm creating a YouTube channel and I'm creating content around my area of expertise and what I'm going to be teaching in my online course. I'm going to answer specific questions and I'm going to create videos around the problems and the desires of my ideal audience to help them as best I can for free. And then over time, that's going to grow my views. Not only am I going to show up in search, but if I'm getting good click-through rates on my videos and good watch time, YouTube is going to start showing my video to more people via the algorithm. You're going to get that kind of virality that you can get with social media, which is an added benefit to YouTube, but you have that search element. Now, I will touch on this social media thing really quickly. I have not had a huge social media presence in my business, and that's probably not something that I would change. I think it's more important to go and create that content that's going to go out and do work for you and build your audience, and the social media can come later. One of the hardest things in business is focusing on a small number of things that are going to give you the largest benefit, because as you grow, it gets harder and harder to find the time. So how does this work with YouTube? You're going to go into the search bar. You're going to look up the common questions that your ideal client is going to have. These things are called keywords. You can even use tools like Keywords Everywhere, which is very cheap. I think you get like tens of thousands of searches for like $10, and it's going to say this many people search for this keyword every month, and this is the score. This is how much competition there is for that. And you want to start creating content around those low competition, higher volume keywords. That way you can start showing up in search. So the power of your YouTube channel is that you create an asset one time, this video, and then you put it out into the world, and it works for you for years because people discover it, they watch it, and then those viewers start becoming followers. They end up on your email list, they end up purchasing your offers, and all of those YouTubes over time end up creating so much traffic that they become this engine that powers the sales machine that you use inside of your business. But that's just the obvious benefit. The other benefit that's going to be very helpful for you is it creates leverage in your business. One of the biggest issues that we'll have, and I mentioned this earlier, as online course creators and business owners in general, is that we have limited time, and you want to spend as much time working on your business, meaning doing the things that grow your business and your revenue, and less time working in the business, right? That's the things like customer support, checking your email, like all the busy work type stuff that comes up. And so YouTube helps you do that because as your audience grows and people start reaching out to you via email, in comments, in your Facebook group, in Messenger, wherever it may be with their questions, you're going to be able to send a really great video resource that you put a lot of time and thought into. You're just going to be able to send it to them, help them immensely, and create a true fan who will eventually become a buyer. But you did it in a time leveraged way. Now you're sending a leak saying, check this out. I think it'll help you. And then you're on your way instead of either ignoring them or taking the time to hop on a call, send a bunch of voice notes, create a Loom video, or whatever else it is that you might do to try and help that person and turn them into a true fan. So there's a lot of benefits to YouTube. That's why I'm starting one now all these years later, and it's why I recommend that as part one of your business plan. The next thing you need to do is you need to grow a community online. And this goes hand in hand between audience building and lead generation. My recommendation is that you create some place that the people that consume your videos, consume your content, can hang out with you, right? I like to use Facebook groups, but it could be a forum. It could be a Slack channel or a Discord. There's a lot of different things you can do, but you want to have a place that people can go, can ask questions, can see your content, can engage with other fans inside of your community, and have a place for them to access you at a deeper level, to get to know you better, and for you to provide even more value by answering their questions. If you want to see an example of how a community would work, go in the description and join my free group called $1 Million Course Secrets. It's our community over on Facebook. You're going to get more in-depth trainings, and it'll give you direct access to me, more so than I can do in the comments of this video. Now, my other favorite way to grow a community online is your email list. And this is huge. This is something that every single course creator should be doing, because when you hear that phrase, the money's in the list, it's very true. Having an engaged email list is one of the best ways to have sales on demand. It's also a life insurance policy for your business, because the problem with all social media platforms, including YouTube, is that they're one algorithm change away from just completely destroying everything you built. They're all borrowed audience. The only owned audience that you can have in a business is your email list. Because when someone joins your email list and they enter their name, their email, their phone number, whatever it is that you're collecting, you've created intellectual property for your business. You own that list. You can export that Excel spreadsheet, and then you can bounce to other email providers or use it in any way that you wish, as long as you're following, the rules and regulations of your country and your area and all of those kind of things. But you own that list. And so that's your safety blanket, and you want to be building that from day one. But in addition to your email list being a great way for you to get sales, it's also an incredible way for you to build a relationship with your audience. Because when you write emails, this is an opportunity for your personality to shine and for you to tell incredible stories. So one of my favorite ways to use email is to give people some insight into my life that I can't always share on a video. Because if I'm recording a YouTube video and I want watch time so YouTube will show it to more people, I want to get to the point and be concise, and I can try and show my personality and share stories here and there, but it doesn't make sense for me to tell some ridiculous story about how my son used to call excavators ass bears when he was a little kid. But in an email, I can take every single ridiculous thing that happens in my life, either in my business or in raising my kids, and I can tell a story to my audience and pull it back into some sort of relevant lesson for them or direct them to content. And I've even had times where I've just had like a really funny story about my kids and I tell it and then I go, this story has absolutely nothing, to do with what I'm here for today. I just hope it put a smile on your face. But I have this new article over on the website and you should go check it out because I think you're going to like it. And it gets massive clicks. But what happens is that your community starts to know, like, and trust you, which is so important for building that relationship and being able to actually get buyers. And that's how they become true fans. Everybody wants to know a little piece of what's going on behind the camera and who you really are. So that way they know that they can trust you with their dollars and trust you with their time if they're taking advice from you on trying to build their business or whatever it is that you teach. Now, the next part of your business plan is that you need to charge higher prices for your course. And let me tell you, this one took me so long to learn, and I've learned this lesson so many times over and over and over again. The reality is, whatever you think you should be charging for your course, you should be charging way more. You should probably double it. You're an expert. You have valuable knowledge in your head and you can help people get results. And those results are worth a lot. Even if you're just starting out, you wouldn't be teaching something if you had not become a master of that knowledge, or if you had not overcome some incredible problem or obstacle in a way that you now have the plan that can teach people how to do the exact same thing. So you got to charge more. And I want to illustrate this to you guys in a couple of ways. And one of them is I've got my course, the Facebook Side Hustle course. We've had over 6,000 students go through this program where we're teaching them how to run Facebook ads for clients and make money doing it. And one of the hardest concepts for people to learn in that course is pricing their services. And we tell them from day one, the average retainer in this business is $1,500 per month, plus the client paying ad spend. And people have a hard time wrapping their mind around that. It seems like too much money from them because they're just starting out. And what happens over and over and over is that a lot of people decide, you know what, I'm going to charge lower prices to start. I'm going to charge $500, or worse, I'm going to do the work for free, and they don't take our advice. And so they really struggle because they're putting in all this work and they're not really getting as much out of it as they should. And then you look at the people that are taking our advice and you see them growing so rapidly, and they're getting to where they're having $5,000 a month, $10K a month, even $25,000 a month doing this side hustle and essentially working part-time. And it's because those higher prices add up. If you're charging $1,500 a month in that business, then you only need 3 clients to be earning $4,500. And for a lot of people, that can replace their income. Now, this concept is even more important in the online course space because if you start charging higher prices from day one, you are going to reach your income and revenue goals with your online course business way faster. And I'm going to do a little business math here to kind of break it down for you. So just bear with me because I promise by the time we get to the end, it's going to set off a light bulb in your mind because you're going to see how drastically different it is and how much easier it is when you're charging a higher price. So let's pretend we have 2 courses, right? We've got a $200 course and a $2,000 course. All right. If we are trying to sell that $200 course and the most proven marketing methods that we use for a low ticket course like that, we're looking at about a 0.5% conversion as like a baseline industry average. I just want to clarify that. You can convert higher, but as a baseline, you're looking at 0.5%. And what that means practically is that you need 200 leads to get one $200 sale. Okay. 200 leads to make $200. Now, let's flip and let's look at that $2,000 price point. With the proven marketing methods that we would recommend and use for selling something that's higher ticket like that, you're looking at a 2% baseline industry standard to convert your leads into a buyer. What that means is that you need 50 leads to get 1 sale, or 50 leads to make $2,000. So I want you to think about that. 200 leads to make $200, or 50 leads to make $2,000. All right. To make that even more drastic, if you have the same 200 leads with the slower mass marketing methods that you would use to convert a $200 sale, right? If you have that many leads, but it's high ticket, you're getting 4 sales now instead of 1, which means 200 leads for $200 versus 200 leads for $8,000. So if you come into this and you're like, I want to make 6 figures a year with my online course business, if you're charging $2,000, you only need to get 4 sales a month or 1 sale a week. You need 50 leads per week to get that 1 sale, and you're at 6 figures a year. That's pretty incredible when you think about it. So you got to charge higher prices. You got to get over the fear of like, I'm just starting out. I'm not a big name in the industry. Nobody knows who I am yet. I don't have any experience here. It doesn't matter. As long as you have expertise in what you're teaching or you've overcome that result and you can help other people get that result, there's incredible value there. And the advantage that you have over all those big names in the industry is that you are going to be able to give a better customer experience because you're going to be able to devote more of your time to helping your client get results, which means if they're getting more results, they're having that transformation, they're getting that value, but now they're incredibly happy. They're giving you testimonials and they're going out into the world, telling people about how you helped them, sending you more referrals, which means more leads. The next pillar in your business plan is I want you to create just one product and have just one sales funnel. This is going to be really hard to do because we all as entrepreneurs tend to have a bit of shiny object syndrome, and we're getting targeted with ads and we're watching videos and we're seeing all these other strategies and tactics for getting results. And so we start to think, well, what if I did that? Maybe that's the thing that's going to get me the result. But what you want to do is master selling your core product, just this one course and nothing else. That way you can really get to know that ideal client and what makes them convert. And you want to focus on one sales funnel because the reality is it's the people that focus on one thing and just keep testing and tweaking and optimizing it until they get it to work that have the most success. Because eventually you're going to get to a point in time where you're going to have that one sales funnel and you're just going to put it on the back of your YouTube channel, right? And then everybody that watches those videos and they opt in, they're joining your email list, you're growing your audience, and they're turning into sales reliably at a 2% clip or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And then you're going to want to integrate paid traffic and you're going to want to be able to scale that and just turn on that water faucet of nice, fresh new leads that you're paying for and have it profitably turn into sales for you. But you're never going to be able to do that if you're focusing on a whole bunch of different strategies, funnels, and tactics. You need to focus on one method of conversion, one funnel, and then look at what is working and what isn't. You need to keep your data. You need to look at it and say, okay, here's where we're having the drop off, and then figure out how do I fix that thing and improve the rate of conversion at that step in the funnel. If you focus on that, you're going to go a lot further and have a much more successful and simpler business than most of your competitors. Now, I did just mention paid traffic, and this is one of those things in the business plan that I would actually do the same as I did last time rather than being something I did differently. You know, I decided early in my business, I'm going to run ads to acquire customers, to get people to buy my products, and I just started running ads and experimenting with whatever budget I had, and that ended up being such a huge boon in my business. And so I would encourage you to not be scared to invest and to not be scared of running ads. I know it feels complicated. Honestly, if you want to learn more about it, that Facebook group that I mentioned that's in the description, go in there because we've got plenty of trainings and stuff there and you can learn more about it. But even if all you have is $5 a day that you can set aside as your budget, like do that. Just commit to I'm going to spend $5 a day with no expectation of getting that money back and use it to start generating leads for your business. At first, it might not work and it might not be profitable, but it's going to help you grow that email list and grow that audience that I said was so important early on. But eventually, through experimentation, it's going to start leading to sales. And when it does, you're going to be able to reinvest the money from those sales back into the ads. And that's where you start to scale. And it's really going to grow your business while you're working on the organic growth side with your YouTube channel. All right, my friends, now that you have that business plan, it's time to get off your butts and create that course. So I encourage you to watch this video where I teach you my entire course creation process. It's going to take you from idea to sellable product with all the tools and all the steps in between so you can get it created as quickly as possible and start making money.